Do you want to learn how to create this fabulous fall wreath step by step? Keep watching. Hello everyone, welcome back to Ramon at Home. I'm so excited you're here today because this is our very first video for fall 2021. The fall season here at Ramon at Home starts right now, and in this video I'm gonna show you a fabulous fall wreath DIY step-by-step that you will want to create for your front door. This is not cheap or cheesy looking, it's actually very modern looking, and I'm gonna give you all the instructions on how you can create this fabulous wreath. Before we get started, I want to let you know that we will be posting brand new videos this fall season every Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you can come and join me and get inspired to create something beautiful for the fall season 2021. Alright, so to get started with this video, I'm going to give you the materials you're going to need. Alright everyone, the materials we're going to need for this fabulous fall wreath DIY is going to be a Christmas wreath, and this is a 24-inch one. I'm going to use a variety of florals. I'm going to use some new ones and some old ones that I already had recycled from past projects. You guys know that I love to recycle my materials as much as possible. I'm going to use some sunflowers. I'm going to use two pumpkins that are going to be staggered together. So I'm going to use an orange one and a green one. These are going to be staggered together and staked, so stay tuned to see how I do that. I'm going to use a variety of ribbons and 2-inch. I'm going to use a 2.5 and a 3-inch ribbon on burlap, and this is going to be so much fun. I cannot wait to show you. I'm also going to use some deco material in orange and then also in brown, and a variety of greeneries for this particular project, as well as our scissors and our wire cutters, some wires, some tape, and some of the tools that you always need for your wreaths. All right, I'm going to get it all situated. Oh, and also my glue pan, and it's just now heating up, so I'm gonna get all of this situated. I'll be right back with you, so stay tuned. Okay, so now that we know all the materials we're going to need and you have your notification bell on, it's time to get started. Okay, to create any wreath on a Christmas wreath form, the very first thing you need to do is, well, take your tag off. We don't want to see those tacky tags. And then also what you need to do is fluff your wreath, and I like to do this by pulling all of the bristles going one way, and I just keep on spinning this wreath as I go around, because you want to make sure that it's fuller, and then also those bristles are standing up so that you are able to use them to tie in all of your elements. So give me a second while I fluff this wreath. It is what takes the longest, so I'll be right back. All right everyone, now that our wreath is all fluffed out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my deco material and I'm going to cut strips about 12 inches long, and we're going to do barrels. We're not going to go through the wreath, however, I'm going to do barrels, and what I want to do is just tightly pack them like this, pinch around here in the middle and grab two of my bristles, and we're going to give just a little spin, pulling your barrel forward. And you want to alternate with your brown one and your orange one because you want it to be really full. However, you also want it to be balanced, and the way to do that is to just go ahead and alternate all of those barrels. So you grab one, you pinch right here in the middle, then you go up like this, and this is just gonna give us some color and texture. We're gonna add some foliages and things, so we really won't see much of it. However, it does help you fill in your wreath. It's an inexpensive way to fill in the wreath. So I'm gonna do a few more, and I'll be right back to add some other elements. Okay, so you've noticed that I added a whole bunch of barrels, but I skipped an area right here. That's because that's where our pumpkins are gonna go. So I'm gonna add just a few more, and remember to go in and out of the wreath, and that's the way you're going to fill in the best perimeter from it, and it's going to look fuller. And I just like to put down my deco material and go ahead and cut. And what you really do want to do is make sure that you really pack that barrel really tight. It's about 12 inches, but you want to make sure that it's really tight so it does look like a barrel. Then I'm gonna bring this one maybe over here because I have a lot of brown, and just let your eye dictate where it wants to go. Remember, we're going to add some foliage, so this is just for texture. Okay everyone, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab two of these styrofoam pumpkins, and they are different sizes and different materials, but they're both made out of styrofoam. And what I did is I went ahead and added a wire to it, but first I went ahead and poked it with one of my skewers all the way through, and you guys will see that there's a hole already there. So then what you want to do is take that skewer out, and then we're going to go ahead and put the wire in, and there should be a channel there on your pumpkin already to make it easier to pull through. So basically just pull. You want equal amounts. And then what I'm going to do is I want them to be askew. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this pumpkin and put it kind of catty corner like this, like it's falling from it. And I'm going to grab a skewer, and I'm going to make sure that I go all the way through both of my pumpkins. Like that, and that's going to help it stay right there. I'm going to cut the excess. You know what I think would be really pretty is if we put some foliages on the pumpkin. So basically I'm just going to dig into my glue, fold it in half like this, and then I'm going to add it right here. I think it'd be really cute if we just add a few of them, and that's going to help it fill in where that skewer went. And look at that, it's going to look like two pumpkins staggered together. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my wires and I'm gonna bend down really tightly. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put my pumpkin right here where I want it to go, or my pumpkins. And then I'm going to pull that wire through right here, very tightly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to swirl that wire into one of my bristles, and then I'm going to bend up, and that pumpkin is not going nowhere anytime soon. Just to double secure it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab yet another one of these bristles, and very tightly I'm going to swirl it like this. That's going to help hide the wire and then also secure it in place. And so now you have two beautiful pumpkins right here. And as you guys can see right here, I'm missing some of the barrels, so I'm going to grab some of the barrels and add them right here, and I'll be right back with you. Okay everyone, so this next step is going to be really fun, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a big bow right here and a little bow right here. And the reason why I want to add my bows first is because I'm going to add some foliage. Therefore I don't want my foliage to overpower the bow. And then also, if you do your bow first, you're going to make sure that you don't use as much foliage, because you're going to have to skip the bow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it probably about 12-inch tail, and I want to do a 3-loop. Just like with Christmas decorating, you can do a 2-loop, a 3-loop, or a 1-loop. And for this particular occasion, I'm gonna go ahead and do a 3-loop with this burlap ribbon. And this ribbon is from Hobby Lobby. They have it every year, and I'm just obsessed with it because it really is so easy to work with. Burlap ribbon is really hard to find. I don't know why a good burlap ribbon is so hard to find. All right, so I'm gonna give it another tail right here, like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, without letting go right here, without letting go, I'm gonna introduce my second ribbon, which is going to be this beautiful plaid for fall. And with this one, I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little tail like this, and we're gonna dovetail in a second. And I'm gonna do only a 2-loop without letting go. Remember, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and pinch right there, and then this is not a printed on one side, so you can basically just pinch and then fold like that. And then I'm gonna do a longer tail right here. All right, so that's 2. Then I'm gonna introduce this black and white. I love black and white stripes with everything, you guys, especially for fall. So I'm gonna go ahead and add just a few of the loops. This is not wire, so it's kind of floppy. You have to make smaller loops. And pinching right here, I'm going to go ahead and add, see how that black and white just really adds so much to the ribbon. And I'm gonna add some of this sparkly green. At this point my hand is getting tight. Without letting go, I'm gonna do a longer tail on this one. I'm gonna pinch right here, I'm gonna go up. Once again, the ones that are not wire, you have to make a smaller loop, because otherwise it's gonna just be too floppy. And I'm gonna go ahead and pinch right there like this, and I'm gonna give it another longer tail. Then I'm gonna grab my pipe cleaner, and I'm gonna go through all of this and just pull back, make sure that it's really, really tight. and spin around. And once you spin around, it is time to fluff. And that is what makes your bows look beautiful. I always like to pull that last tail back down, so that way all of the tails are facing down. If you don't do that last step, you're gonna have one tail wanting to go up in a different direction. All right, so now that this is all tied like this, what you need to do is fluff your bow and pull all of these cute little tails like this. And the next step is to add it right here to my wreath. But you know what? I think I'm gonna add yet another one. The easiest way, if you think that you're short, what you wanna do is you wanna grab these two right here, swirl those two together. Once you get to the point, bend your long stem up and then go around one more time. And that'll give you a longer stem. I know I don't need that long of a stem, but probably this much. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add this bow right here. Let me close my drawer. Let me move my cutters so you guys can see what I'm doing over here. I'm gonna pull my hand and look for my finger so that I can pull my bow right here. And then I wanna do the other one. Making wreaths is one of my favorite part of fall because I love the textures. I love the colors. There we go. I got it. All right, you want to make sure that it's really tight and that all of your ribbons are showing like this. And I just love the tails. I cannot wait for you guys to see. Give me 1 second while I tie this together. You want to fluff all of your bows, making sure that all of them show. Look how cute this is. I just love the little touch of black and white. It really makes it look more elegant. I'm gonna make another one and put it right here, and I'll be right back with you, so stay tuned. I wanna take a second to invite you guys to come join me on my Instagram for daily Insta stories, behind the scenes, all of the things that you don't get to see here on YouTube. The links to all my social medias are going to be in the description box below. Let's get back to the video. All right, you guys, so now we have two bows, a small one right here on the top, catty corner, and then the long one that goes all the way down. And the reason why I like to leave the tails like that is because I like it when the wind just plays with them and you approach somebody's door with a tail like that. It's just so beautiful. I love it. That's why I like to leave some short, some long, especially these little ones. You want to make sure that they are super long. That way, they really dance in the air. And with these particular ones, I don't like to dovetail, but just cut in an angle so they look finished because they're so small. You don't want to really dovetail. And this black and white ribbon is from Shinoda Design Center. Actually, all of the ribbons except the burlap one is from Shinoda. They really do have the best selection of ribbons, and they can send them to you if you like any of these ones. All right, so far so good. I'm gonna get all of my greeneries ready and I'll be right back, so stay tuned. Okay, so I wanna show you that I have two different types of foliage. I have this really pretty fall foliage. However, it's a longer stem, so what you need to do is you need to cut it into little stems. And the way I like to do that is just adding like one on the top, then two on the bottom, and that way it's going to make a longer stem and it's gonna really show into your wreath. So basically I got 1, 2, 3, 4 out of one long stem by adding, look at this. And the good thing is that if you cut them all at once, then you don't have to go out and cut them and take more time. So I'm going to just go ahead and finish this right here. Perfect. All right, and then also you might want to just go ahead and give them a little fluff. Like this guy just fell off. I'm gonna, oh, I think it goes right here. I'm gonna save it for later. Anyway, so I have also some other type of greenery that I have from past projects, and I like different kinds of foliage. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna start with this green right here, and I like to mix the green and the fall foliages together. But remember to always just add one type of foliage at a time, because that's what's gonna give it the most balance to your wreath. So I'm just going to go ahead and go on a circular motion. Remember, when you're making a wreath, you have to go on a clock motion or counterclock. It depends if you are left-handed or not, because that's what's going to really make your wreath look cohesive. and balance. So just make sure you do one foliage at a time and one way at a time as well. You want to go in and out. I'm gonna really accent the pumpkins and the bowl right here. So I want to make sure that I get closer to that particular area of the wreath. And if you really want to secure it, just go ahead and grab one of those bristles and just twist it around. I'm gonna move these guys over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Remember, always one type of foliage at a time. And you don't have to really worry about how much of it you have, because there's different kinds of foliage that is going to go on the wreath. So just make sure that you have enough to go one time around. I'm gonna add this one right here. All right, so now I'm gonna get this out and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go up on the top first, right here. And look how that's really filling in. Remember, we also do have some flowers that we're gonna add. So I'm going to add this one right here, going all the way around. And I really love the way this foliage ties in with the pumpkins and the ribbons without really overpowering. That's why I wanted to cut them a little bit short. And add this one right here by the pumpkin. Remember, this is our focal point, so we really want to take care of it. I feel like this one's too long, so I'm gonna cut it into two. These wire cutters, you guys, are the best wire cutters in the world. They really cut so easily. And remember also, another tip I can give is like, go all the way out here, because this is where we don't get to see. We see this side because we're closer to it, but we really don't get to see this side. So just make an intention to really go in there. And then what goes up must come down. If you just continue to repeat yourself those instructions, what goes up must come down. What happens on the left happens on the right. And for wreath making, just go in a clock motion or a counterclock motion to have balance. Well, this also is pretty long, so I'm gonna cut it. I want the foliages to really fill in, so they need to be cut short. Okay, so I'm gonna add a few more and I'll be right back with you to give you the next step, so stay tuned. Okay, so the next step is going to be to add some florals, and I'm going to untie these bundles of sunflowers from Shinoda Design Center. And I love the fact there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. And look how gorgeous these are. So pretty. So to these ones, I'm gonna give them just a little cut right here to the stem. And I'm going to go once again, clock motion. I'm gonna start right here where my little bow is, and you want to make sure that they're a little longer so they really have some fly and they can stay in the air. So I'm going to add one right there, and remember to work in sets of 3s, 2s, and 1s. So I'm going to cut yet another one, and then I'm going to add it right here so there's 2 together. And the way this wreath works is because you do kind of have like 2 focal points, one here with the bow, then one here. So I'm gonna add 2 right here, then I'm gonna add 3 to this side, okay? So that's all the sunflowers that we're going to add to this wreath. You don't have to add all of them when you get them just because you got them. You can save them for another project, which is what I'm going to do with the leftover ones. But I'm going to add one right here. Then I'm gonna grab yet another one. I'm gonna cut it a little short because it's too long and I don't want it to fly away way too far from it. However, I do want to make sure that it's right here with all of the pumpkins. Look at that, and then I'll add one here and give them a little bend like this, so that way, well, they look like they're popping out like this. I'm gonna add one right here. Look how pretty. It just really adds like the focal points that I wanted. Okay, so I'm gonna have 2 left. I'm gonna save those for another project. Then what I have is this other really pretty peony. It looks like a fall peony. And I'm gonna just go ahead and give it a little fluff like this. I'm gonna cut it a little short. Oh, I need to remove the tag. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add one right here. And making sure that I have enough glue to go down. The more glue you have on your stem, then the more it's gonna hang on to the form. And there you go. How pretty is that? Make sure that it's right there. And that's just gonna help us fill in some of the spots. I'm gonna grab one of these short ones and I'm going to add this right here. Just like that. I have another short one, so I'm gonna add it right here with these pumpkins. Give it a little bend. Make sure that I get all of my foliages like this. And add it right there. How cute is this? All right, I feel like we can add There's a lonely one right here, so I'm gonna add another one to make more of a statement. Making sure that I get plenty of glue on this stem. And then I'm gonna add right there. And you know what? I have another one and I feel like I could use it right on the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it a little bit short. And then I'm going to add it right here. I'm just gonna throw this little stem around it. Like this. How fun is that? All right, so far so good. I'm gonna add some flyaways to this wreath, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I love the way this is looking. However, I feel like it does need some ribbon tails, and for that, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab this really pretty black and white striped ribbon. I'm gonna fold it in half like this, and I'm gonna dovetail. You guys have seen me do this before. You pinch right here, like so, and then you grab your skewers with a little wire. And you can find these skewers with a little wire at any floral or craft supplier. Shinoda also has them, so if you need them, I really recommend you get them. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna just dip that stem into the glue, be generous with it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna open up right here. Then I'm just gonna put that right there, and look, that black and white really pops. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do yet another one. I wanna do all the ribbons. So basically just fold right here in half. I'm gonna cut in an angle, pinch really tight, and get one of your skewers. Get your little wire and swirl it around really tight so it stays in place. You open the tails, and then you put some glue on it. If you like it, then you should have put some glue on it. I'm gonna go right here, like that. Then you open your tails, and look at that black and white really pops from all of the colors. It makes it look really elegant. And I'm gonna do one more, then I'm gonna continue adding all of the ribbons, and I'll be right back with you, so keep watching. Okay everyone, so I added all of the ribbon tails, and as you guys can see, it's looking really full and I am in love with it. And so now what I'm going to show you how to add is this tiny little ribbon bows. So basically, because this ribbon is so thin and it's not wired, what you want to do is you want to make a 3-loop bow where it's just floppy enough. So I want to say probably about a 4-inch loop, and you want to do 3 tails or 3 loops, and you make sure that you twist that really good. So that way it really shows. And I love this lime green with fall. I just think it's so pretty with the black and white. So you cut in an angle, then what you do is you grab your little skewer and then you put it at the end right there. And with a little wire, you want to go ahead and pull really tight, and then you just swirl it around the skewer. That way it's really tight, so you have a 3 bow with a long tail. And then what you need to do is just go ahead and dip it into your glue. And I'm gonna add this one right here, like that, just to give it that little pop of green. I have one already made right here, and I'm gonna dip into my glue. And I'm going to add this one over here. Just like that. Remember, this is the focal point right here. All right, so far so good. Now, the only thing that I have left to add is this really shiny pumpkins, and I'm going to, probably right here, I'm going to add. So just dip into my glue, let it go down, and I'm gonna go up like that. Make sure that hangs on right there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab this area right here, dip into that glue. Aren't these pumpkins so cute? Then go ahead and add right there. And then we're gonna do the triangle. We're gonna go opposite right here. I'm gonna cut this a little bit shorter, and I'm gonna add it right here. And this will be it. Well, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this DIY and that you learned a few tips on how you can create your very own fall wreath for your front door. I cannot wait to read your comments. So let me comment down below and let me know if you have any ideas on videos that you would like to see this fall season here at Ramon at Home. I'm just getting started. This is just the first video and this fall season is going to be a dream, I promise you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed this video, I really recommend this one right here where I show you how you can create small wreaths on a very tiny budget. Thank you, until next time. Bye.